And you've already been getting some of the tricks of the trade, so to speak, with the naming part, but that's more of what we'll continue covering, continue making those distinctions of what effective naming looks like. And I'll talk more in that capacity about what I call the physical language, the emotional language, and the mental language. Because there's language that's good for naming physical events, there's language that's good for naming emotional events, and there's language that's good for naming physical events. And sometimes we try to handle emotional events with mental language, and it doesn't work well. That's one of those methods of trying to avoid your experience. But we can get into those 3 languages next time. For now, we'll just stick with nowness, noticing, and naming, and see that as sort of like a umbrella set of distinctions for everything that we do underneath that. And I think that's useful to return to as just sort of like the big picture of why we bother and what we're up to. Any questions about any of that?
What's the difference between noticing? When you say noticing and naming, I think that if I notice something, I will have to name it.
Yeah, noticing happens internally. Naming is putting it out into the realm of language. I mean, there's also internal naming. You're like in your head, you're naming it to yourself. But there is a, you feel a sensation in here, and then you start putting it into words. Even before you speak, you have to, what is that? Okay. It's kind of, it's a continuum, but it's sort of like now, and then you notice it, and then you kind of like putting it into words is kind of magic. It really is kind of magic. People will come in to see me and be fumbling around trying to express what they're feeling, and if I can put the right name on it, they're like, yeah, that's it. And then they feel a bunch more, and that's what I mean about a good name is powerful and unlocks that experience and lets it do its thing. It's been named, it's like, it's kind of magical. We crave that. Any other questions? Comments? Okay then. Yes?
I keep, as you were talking, I kept thinking, like naming validates experience as well, where it doesn't invalidate, and I'm not sure if that's accurate, and wonder what you'd say about that.
It validates it.
Yeah.
As opposed to invalidating it?
Yeah, like me, I will filter or, kind of, I guess it's suppressed, like I'll notice it maybe, but I won't really validate it or acknowledge it fully. I'll sidestep it or downplay it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that the naming experience for me is kind of it forces me to validate. And I don't know if that's the right word.
Yes. Well, it helps you accept it, hopefully.
Yeah.
With validate or invalidate, the only concern I'd have about that is that hopefully your naming is neutral. It just is what it is. It's not good or bad. That's part of the nature of being descriptive instead of interpretive, is that hopefully when you name something, it's morally neutral. A rock is a rock. Tightness in your solar plexus is tightness in your solar plexus. Anger is anger.
It's raining outside.
A judgment is a judgment. It just sort of is what it is. And that's part of the intent of it, is to kind of step outside of the good-bad continuum, the evaluation-interpretation continuum, and just be with what is, as it is. Now you could say that's like validating it because it's, I mean, actually is the root of valid like true? Is that what valid means?
That's like veritable, more like, well, maybe.
Anyway,
More like grave, valor.
I don't know. Now I'm going to have to go look up valid. But, you know, it says it accepts it as truth, you know.
Yeah.
It embraces it as what actually is. All right.